guys, what is going on? This is Travis P11. I'd like to welcome you back to the channel, and today we're going to take a little look, do a little tabletop review of this Colt 1911 Government Competition 9mm semi-automatic pistol. And I had a chance to recently take this to the range and put a few rounds through, and I just want to share my experiences with you about that pistol, the ammunition that ran well through it, the ammunition that did not run well through it, and just kind of my overall take on the pistol, the features, what it has to offer, and so on. First things first, this pistol is on loan to us from Stan, the owner of SS Pawn in Lexington, Nebraska, and it is part of Stan's private collection. And guys, go ahead and give SS Pawn a call, and they will take care of your firearms needs. They've been a long-time supporter of the channel, and a lot of the content that you see here is because of SS Pawn, so give them a holler. All right, so the competition model, what do we need to know? First things first, we are looking at an MSRP of $899. Let's go through the specifications real quick on this. We won't take up too much of your time. It is offered also in 38 Super and 45 ACP. So we have a single action hammer-fired semi-automatic pistol, 5-inch national match barrel. Capacity is 9+1 and 9mm. The finish is forged carbon steel. The sights are Novak adjustable fiber optic. It does have a steel frame with G10 checkered blue grips, one of the coolest features of the gun. Magazine is 9 rounds like I mentioned before. Weight is 36 ounces. It does have a thumb safety and a grip safety. It does not have an ambidextrous safety to it, nor is the magazine release reversible, just as a heads up to you. Let's see, it does have, like I said before, the G10 blue and black grips. So the barrel length is 5 inches, the overall length is 8.5 inches, and in case I just mentioned it, the weight is 36 ounces. Now, it does feature the National Match barrel as well as the dual recoil spring system. It does have an upswept beaver tail, a skeletonized hammer, skeletonized trigger, and that's about it. But actually, that is offering you quite a bit as the shooting sports enthusiast, basically a competition grade pistol. So let's go ahead and check and make sure that the firearm is in fact unloaded, and it is, and we are good to go. So first of all, fit and finish. I mean, it is fairly basic. I wouldn't say the fit and finish is anything more extraordinary than what I've seen from, say, my Ruger SR 1911, or maybe something you might find from Springfield. You know, it is basically a standard grade finish, but it does have a lot of enhancement features that really offer a lot of value for the money. You know, we're talking $899. You know, you're starting to get into a different price point with these 1911s, and you have different expectations. First of all, you do have these serrations on the rear. You do not have any front serrations. Up on the top, you've got a nice, bright, fiber optic red dot sight that does light up really well in the sun. Blacked out rear sight. Again, Novak sights. You would not be able to do a single hand charge with these if you had to. Emergency situation. Just keep that in mind. The finish is really well done. It's a little bit oily because I just got done cleaning it. And as you know, I have a habit of leaving too much oil on firearms on this channel. We'll go ahead and just do a quick little dry fire here. Very crisp, very smooth trigger. I really can't tell you what the weight is on this. I'm going to say maybe 4 pounds, 3.5, 4 pounds. It's very, very smooth, very crisp, very light, and I do like that. Disassembly and cleaning is an absolute piece of cake. You know, you've got yourself a 9+1 capacity, a 9mm, and the big question is, why would you want to go with the 9mm 1911 anyway? Well, you might be a fan of the platform. You may enjoy the ergonomics. You might like the overall weight and the feel of in your hand. I mean, it's definitely a different grip angle than, say, a Glock. You know, you might like the Colt name and you want to try one out, or you may be a competitor. And, well, at one point, 9mm was cheaper than 45 ACP. And from a budget standpoint, it would be a little bit cheaper to shoot a pistol like this on a regular basis versus shooting one in 45 ACP, especially if you don't do any of your own reloading. I do like the upswept beaver tail. It is nice. I had zero slide bite issues whatsoever. You got that nice light hammer, skeletonized like I mentioned before, the trigger. It is really just a nice complete package right out of the box. Now, let's talk about the shooting experience of the gun itself, because that's what it's all about, right? When I took it to the range, I did not fire it as well as I thought I would. Of course, every range trip you ever see on this channel is literally, they are literally the first rounds that I've ever fired out of the gun. So wherever it prints, I try to follow that pattern on paper. I shot at 3 different distances. I shot at 7 yards, 12 yards, and 20 yards. And, you know, I was hoping for a little bit better group. I think with some practice, I definitely would have been better at it. I was only shooting Fiocchi 115 grain full metal jacket rounds. Not the most precise ammo out there. When I did switch over to some of those defensive grade ammunitions like Critical Defense and 6 Hour V Crown, I did shoot it much better. So just a word of warning, I had multiple failure to feeds with the Hornady Critical Defense. It was kind of odd. It seems like the top round was ramming into the feed ramp, and it could be because of Critical Defense. I think it's a slightly shorter round, which is supposed to be designed to enhance the feeding of it so it runs through more guns, but unfortunately this gun did not like it. seems like every other round was basically wedging itself into the feed ramp. And I tried this with 2 different magazines and had the same issue. I also noticed that like 1 to 2 rounds down in the magazines were tilting forward. They were falling down or forward. There's almost like an extreme angle between the round that's on the top of the mag and the round just below it. So I was getting this weird like V pattern going on in the magazines. When it comes to the Sig Sauer V Crown, however, I did not have that issue. It ran flawlessly. It was perfect. That would be, in my opinion, one grade of self-defense ammo that you could run through that firearm in 115 grain. And again, that's the Sig Sauer V Crown. Overall, you know, I mean, it did perform really well. It just at 7 yards, I mean, it was spot on. It shot great for me. And as I backed up in my distances, it seemed like it was shooting a little high initially. And unless you swap out those sights or do something about the sights, you're pretty much going to have to learn the point of aim and know exactly where it's going to shoot. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to make a lot of modifications short of swapping out the sights. But bringing it back, I mean, it really was a fun pistol to shoot. The recoil was minimal. I mean, it was very easy to control. It's even way less recoil than what I think you're going to feel out of a 45 ACP. Almost felt like almost half the recoil. It's hard to explain. You just didn't quite get that kind of that buck in your hands that you get with a 45 ACP. This felt really, really smooth, very flat shooting, which is something I did appreciate. So the big question is, would I buy one of these? You know, I'd consider it. I don't have a Colt 1911 in the collection, and right now I just have the Ruger SR 1911, which I think is a fantastic value for, well, at one point you could get them for under $700 like I did. If not, you know, this is a great way to get into the Colt platform, and if you're a Colt shooter, you know, I mean, it's pretty hard to beat their quality. Let's just go and take a look and see real quick what you actually get in the box here. Get a nice hard case with it, which is good. Kind of refreshing in the age of cardboard boxes that you get with a lot of your guns. Well padded, instruction manuals included. Here, let's zoom out just a little bit for you. Got your instruction manuals, your tags, your gun lock. You do get 2 9mm magazines that come with it. Colt 9mm Luger is what it says on the bottom, so they're actual Colt manufacturer magazines. You know, you might have to look around a little bit, but single stack 9mm mags for 1911 pattern pistols should not be hard for you to find. You do have this little chamber flag that comes with it. And it is a nice package out of the box. So like I said, $8.99. I don't know if you're going to find it really any cheaper at this point as of Election Day 2020. What is today, November 3rd, November 4th? November 3rd, I think. Yeah, somewhere around there. And so the prices you're going to pay are probably going to be pretty close to retail. But otherwise, it was really fun to shoot. Very easy to take apart and clean. The internals looked really nice. I've got a cleaning video on this if you want to check it out. Your rear back strap is just a nice straight groove down the back. Again, the G10 grips are nice and grippy. Not really sure how I feel about this little thumb cut. I tend to ride a little bit higher on it, so I didn't really use the thumb cut. I kind of have a similar grip like how I do with my poly pistols, but you know, you could single-handedly get a nice thumb placement in there if you're doing some one-handed shooting. But again, biased towards the right-handed shooter, you know, with the lack of the ambi safeties and so on. So anyway, and the lack of a reversible magazine release. But overall, a great pistol. I do wish it had a little bit of check ring in the front. That would be nice for a little more grip, especially for a competition-grade pistol. There are some aftermarket options. There's also the old skateboard tape option if you want to, Talon grips and so on. But otherwise, it was a lot of fun to shoot. So Stan, I want to thank you for loaning me this pistol. And again, make sure you guys check out SS Pawn in Lexington, Nebraska. If you want a heavy but low recoil flat shooting 1911, this would be definitely the way to go. And if you got a lot of 9mm ammo sitting around and you've always wanted a 1911, consider going this route. Like I said, it ran the 115 grain Fiocchi just fine and ran the V Crown just fine, but be a little bit weary if you are a critical defense fan in this particular pistol. I love critical defense. I run it in all of our home defense pistols. I usually don't have an issue with it, but I was not happy in this particular firearm. So anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. You can check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can also find me over on guntube.org, as well as Patreon. My channel is TravisP11. Every Saturday morning, we got a little podcast that we do called Caliber Corner. Make sure you check it out. We just talk guns and ammo. We have a great time. But in the meantime, guys, I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. Have a good time and get out to the range. All right, bye-bye.